Welcome to Chronic Conversations, the podcast that brings a voice to the stories behind chronic symptoms. I'm your host, Katherine Rose, certified integrative health practitioner, founder of ThriveWell, and soon to be published author. After years of battling unexplained symptoms and finally getting a diagnosis of Hashimoto's, I turned my pain into purpose. Now I help women just like you feel seen, heard, and validated while uncovering the root causes of symptoms and helping to create lasting wellness. Each week, I'll share insights from my own journey, some proven strategies that I use with clients, and conversations with fellow experts and warriors. You're not alone, and you can thrive. Now let's get into today's conversation. Hi, friends, and welcome back to Chronic Conversations. I am so glad you're here, as always. So, if you've been showing up to your workouts and eating clean, sweating your way through classes, lifting the weights, hitting the cardio, but not seeing the results that you're used to seeing, you are so not alone. So, today we're going to be diving into something I hear all the time. Like, I used to be able to lose weight quickly, but now nothing seems to work. And also, like, I'm working out more than ever. I'm eating less calories, but I feel more tired and inflamed and more stuck than ever. So common, especially for women in their 40s and beyond. I'm sure that one of those two scenarios probably sounds familiar to you. And that's why today's episode is all about why your workouts might not be working anymore, especially if in your 40s, you are in your 40s and beyond, and also what to do about it. Let's first start with what's really going on behind the scenes in your body. So once we hit our late 30s and early 40s, we all know hormonal shifts start happening and we can all feel it, right? But often, a lot of times, actually, earlier on, these shifts are kind of silent at first. And we don't even really realize it's happening. That's more towards like later 30s. But eventually, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, all those hormones, they start to decline. It's what most of us are experiencing right now. And with that comes changes in muscle mass and recovery speed and insulin sensitivity, cortisol tolerance, and even, of course, sleep quality, which affects literally everything else. So it's like, what do we do? We can't win. Yes, you can. So if you're doing the same workouts you did at 25 or 30, expecting the same results, then you're likely hitting a wall. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your body is now playing by a different set of rules. So this was maybe 5 or so years ago, something like that. I was getting back into working out, I think after my second child. And I owned a fitness studio before this, and I was younger. And the kinds of workouts we did, they were, a lot of them were high intensity interval training, some boot camp, circuit style things, but they were pretty intense and I loved them. And that's what my body was used to. But I was younger and trying to get back into it. When I tried to get back into it, I was a little bit older. And I would go to these classes trying to do the same things that I was doing years ago. And, I got through the class okay. But after it, even the next day, I swear I was in bed for like a week. And every person's body is different and every person's response to stressors are different, especially those of us with chronic illness. We've we're extra special and need to really, really listen to our bodies. I mean, everyone does, but or you'll be like me and in bed for a week trying to push yourself through these hardcore workouts that you're used to doing and getting done with them and being like, gosh, like what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this like I used to? So after weeks of me trying and trying and trying to do these classes, I finally realized that that type of workout was not for me at the moment and started a lot slower or started back a lot slower and just built up. And at that point, I did not know the things that I know today. So that was a long road and kind of felt like I lost a little part of my identity there because fitness, I played sports all growing up and I was good at them and I loved being competitive and all those things and going from that to high intensity workouts to not being able to do much at all was a little depressing. So, anyway, I built back up and I have found listening to my body is worth it. And I can still do some of the things I used to do, just not at the same, I guess, rate or level. But I found what makes my body happy. I found what makes me happy. And I guess that's all that matters. I went off on a tangent on that one, but I just wanted to share that story with you to let you know you're not the only one that is wondering what on earth is going on with your body when you can't complete a workout that you used to do all the time. You're not alone. So let's jump back into this. Let's talk about cortisol. I know a lot of you probably heard about it, the body's main stress hormone. So cortisol, it's not the enemy. It can be given a bad rap. It serves a very, very good purpose. It's helpful when it's in balance. Our problem is a lot of times we've got it out of balance, and that's okay. It can be fixed. So cortisol, it helps us wake up, helps us respond to danger. It helps us burn fat, regulate blood sugar, all kinds of things. But when it's chronically elevated, which can happen through overtraining, under eating, poor sleep, or just chronic life stress, it becomes a major obstacle. And here's the kicker: cardio heavy workouts, those high intensity interval training workouts, or like really, really long runs, they do spike cortisol. And in midlife, for most of us, not all of us, but most of us, our bodies aren't bouncing back from those spikes the same way that they used to. So if you're always sore, which isn't always a bad thing, but if you're always sore, you're always exhausted after workouts, not sleeping well, or even gaining belly fat despite working your butt off, high cortisol is most likely playing a role in that. And the fix, it's not necessarily about doing less, it's about doing it smarter. So, if I could shout one thing from the rooftops for women over 40, it would be this: strength training is your best friend, and it should be a non negotiable every week. Every week. And here's why: it helps preserve lean muscle, which naturally starts to decline at age 35. It improves metabolism because muscle, I know you hear muscle weighs more than fat, that kind of thing. It's true. But muscle burns more calories than fat. So if you've got more muscle on you, even if you're doing nothing, you're still your body is a machine. Your body is still burning more calories than it would if it had less muscle. Supports bone density. We know that's very important as we, start to get older. Weight training does not spike cortisol in the same way that cardio does. So remember that. Cardio isn't bad. Cardio is great. Cardiovascular health, it's great, but just don't overdo it. And weight training, it's incredibly empowering. It just feels good. I think at least. So you don't have to like lift crazy heavy or be in the gym for hours. 2 to 3 sessions a week of focused progressive strength training can be a total game changer. And by progressive strength training, that means just starting out a little bit lighter. And as you go on, build up to heavier weights. And you can even start out with body weight if you want, squats, lunges, and you don't need a ton of equipment. Just like 2 sets of dumbbells. Resistance bands are pretty cheap. You can get those on Amazon. And you don't have to lift crazy heavy weights or be in the gym for hours to get these benefits or see these results. 2 to 3 sessions a week of focused, progressive strength training can really be a total game changer. And the 2 to 3 times a week, it's the consistency that's going to make a difference. Staying consistent, ingraining that habit into your routine. So, say you go to the gym, you've got, say, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do my weight training routine. So, say there's one Wednesday that, you can't stay for 30 minutes, you can just stay for 15. Some people might be like, oh, 15 minutes isn't worth it. It's not going to do much. Still go. If we start throwing in the excuses, it's going to be a lot easier to continue to add in excuses. So for that 15-minute session, just go because that will ingrain that habit. Like Wednesdays, I go to the gym. That's what I do. No matter if it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, continue to go. Consistency is key. Now, let's talk a little bit about recovery. So, recovery is no longer a luxury in your 40s, it is a requirement. We used to get away with go, 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 but now rest days, mobility work, sleep, and nervous system regulation are really critical. Here are a few recovery tips that you can try to incorporate. You've heard this before, I'm sure. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It's when your growth hormone is released. So try to make that a top priority. I am also talking to myself when I say that. Okay, incorporate walking, gentle yoga, stretching on days that are between like hard workouts. Get a little bit of movement in, but you don't have to kill it. Eat enough protein to support muscle repair and cycle your workouts. Don't do intense sessions back to back. You're just going to either burn out or get injured. And remember that it's not how hard you train, it's how well you recover to be able to do that next workout well and safely. So let's recap. If your workouts aren't working like they used to, consider this. Check your hormones, especially estrogen, progesterone, and cortisol. I offer those functional labs if you are ever interested in taking them. They come straight to your home. You take the lab at home, whether it's blood, urine, or saliva. It depends on the test. And then you mail it from your house and they email you the results. Super easy. Another thing is to swap excessive cardio for strength training. Build lean muscle and protect your metabolism. And again, it's a reminder, prioritize recovery. Sleep, stress management, and rest days matter more than ever. They really, really, really do. Like I know for me, I'll get excited if I start a new routine or something, and I'll want to just go, go, go and keep doing it and not take any breaks because it feels so good. And then I get burned out and it's not sustainable. I've learned my lesson in all of that, but that used to be what I would do. So again, prioritize recovery. It's going to help you get to your goals faster. It won't feel like it, but it's true. Fuel yourself wisely. Don't undereat and fear carbs. Carbs are so necessary. Midlife metabolism needs support. It needs fuel. It doesn't need starvation. That'll spike cortisol. It will start your hormones on a roller coaster nightmare if you undereat. And track how you feel, not just how you look. Track your energy, your strength, your mood, your sleep. They all count. And for strength, if you want to keep a journal or something of, on this week, this date, I started with X number of pounds for dumbbells. A month later, you might notice that you jump up 5 pounds or so in weights. It's fun. It's really a good motivator to keep track of things that way. So if you're in your 40s and feel like your body has changed and your workouts haven't caught up yet, you aren't crazy and you're not failing. You're evolving. We all are. And your approach to movement needs to evolve too. Thank you so much for listening today, friends. If this episode hit home, I would love it if you would share it with a workout buddy who needs to hear it too. And thanks for listening today, friend. I really appreciate you being here. And if this episode hit home or you could relate to it in any way, I would appreciate it if you would share it with a workout buddy who needs to hear it too. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Chronic Conversations. I hope you're walking away with a little more clarity, hope, and inspiration for your healing journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Every share helps this show reach more women who deserve to feel seen, heard, and validated. And if we're not connected yet, come say hi on Instagram. I'm at Call Me Katherine Rose. Plus, you can check out free tools and resources for your wellness journey anytime at callmekatherinerose.com. And until next time, take care. And here's to thriving well, no matter where you are on your journey.